welcome everyone. Really, this is, well, first of all, thank you, press, for joining us. We're so appreciative of you covering the event. Sarah, come up here.
Okay.
And really, we'll keep the presentation short so that we can make sure we answer any questions, because we want to make sure that, and we thank you so much for covering this news about our new legal services program. So we want to make sure we answer all of your questions. And, for our, I think we have people that can also translate Korean, English, if, for any, unfortunately, no Chinese, sorry.
Not today, at least.
Not today.
We feel discriminated.
Oh, can you maybe sit on, that's what I was trying to say, yeah.
Maybe they'll help you.
But just don't hesitate if you just want to speak in Korean too, because we can just, because we want to make sure that the information that goes out is, understood and all of that. But again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Maybe quickly, can we just go around the room? Because we also have a lot of staff who I'll mention today. So I'm Helen Ho. I am, I guess I call myself the general counsel, the lead attorney and executive director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta.
I'm Sarah Hamilton. I'm an attorney at Asian Americans Advancing Justice.
And our deputy director.
Deputy director.
David Yu, not attorney, reporter.
Reporter with?
Shin Times.
Thank you, David.
HB with Korea Daily reporter.
I'm Lake Park and I'm a high school intern at Radio Korea. I'm Nicole Kang, Radio Korea.
Welcome.
Hey guys, welcome. My name is Raymond Partolin and I work here at Asian Americans Advancing Justice.
Program
Program
coordinator.
coordinator.
Hi, this is Anna Kim, a reporter at Joseon Daily News. Hi.
Hi everyone, my name is James Wu. I'm the Communications and Outreach Associate here at Advancing Justice.
My name is Michael. I'm working for Atlanta168, the Chinese website.
My name is Frank Shea. I'm a reporter and editor-in-chief of the Chinese Epoch Times.
Amelia Silver, English Epoch Times, New York edition.
Thank you, guys. I love our press. Okay. So, just quickly, as it said on our press release, which is true, we have been operating basically a free legal hotline. That's the number 404-890-5655. Basically, the way it works, you can press the different numbers for either Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, or Spanish, or English. You have 5 different languages. And most of the times, depending on when people call, people can call any time of the day. But they leave a message in their language, say they're Chinese speaking, they'll hear the word Chinese, the number. They press that number, they can leave whatever message or question they have in Chinese. And our commitment is to return the call within 48 hours. So it's like a free immigration information line. What does that mean? Sometimes we may be able to answer that, depending on the question. It could be a question we can answer easily, right? Like, is DAPA canceled? What's going on with the lawsuit? Where do I find this application? Something like that. If it's a more complicated question, again, we may discuss with them and determine if it makes sense for them to come in for a one-on-one direct legal consultation with our attorney. But regardless, whether they come in or not, they can call and leave a message. If we can answer it, we will. We return the call within 48 hours, and the number is completely free. Is there anything? Also, what kind of questions? People that know me now call me for any kind of question. So it's okay if people aren't sure, they can always call. I'm used to calling people back and saying, you know what, this business dispute is not something our organization handles, but here are some names of attorneys I trust. If I have a name, I can't guarantee that they will work with them, but we all know that you never know what kind of attorney you're getting, so we will do kind of informal referrals. But generally, the attorneys here, our organization, we're focused on immigration law, not so much business immigration, but family, visas, adjustment of status for undocumented people. or those that may be legal permanent residents, or those that get married, right? And also citizenship. You know, what is the I forget the N900? The N400. So we will complete those applications. We can also complete the deferred action for childhood arrival applications. As well as, like I said, immigration related stuff. We may also consider taking on deportation defense cases, but it really depends on, you know, how much, you know, how many things can we take on at once, right? But we know that some of our family members and friends are in the process of deportation, and they have, you know, no legal support. So that is also an aspect of immigration law that we will consider handling. It'll just be case by case. Okay. Last thing related to the citizenship legal help, we're gonna start doing citizenship and ESL courses here. I think the first class is gonna be Saturday, when is it? It's in July 18th. And then every Saturday from 10 to 12 here, starting July 18th. So people that sign up for our ESL citizenship course is gonna be taught by our immigration attorney, our legal director. Okay, so it's gonna actually be led by attorneys. Part of the cost of the class will be helping you complete your citizenship form. It's just all included. And of course, usually it takes people 8 weeks to take the course and then take the test. But if you need to take the course more than 8 weeks, that's fine. It's on a rolling basis. So the program, every Saturday, 10 to 12. And once you sign up with us, you can just keep taking the class until you're ready. And we'll help you fill out the citizenship application and go through with you, you know, till the end.
Who's BIA?
Yeah, so that's a great question.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So, who do we have doing this work? First, there are three attorneys that are staff members here. There's myself, although you probably don't want me doing most of the work, but me. I have, when did I graduate? 1999. So I've been an attorney in practice for 16 years, and a graduate from Emory. There's Sarah Hamilton. She's now a full-time attorney on our roster. She is a litigator. And then our legal director, Monica Kaneni, she was unable to join us today. She has 7 years of experience doing immigration exclusively. Monica and Kaneni, Kinene is her last name. She's actually an immigrant from Uganda.
Oh, black lady?
An African immigrant woman, and she is our most experienced immigration attorney. So she's seen every type of immigration case you can imagine. We're extremely lucky to have her, because you know, one of the things that happens, honestly, so I'm an attorney, I am pro lawyers, so this is not about like lawyers are bad, never. But you know, one of the reasons we decided to do this is because there is unfortunately a lot of immigration fraud, right? I mean, if you guys are journalists, so you hear these stories of immigration fraud. Or sometimes it's not even meant to be direct fraud, but it may be an attorney that really doesn't practice immigration law, but they choose to do some immigration law. And maybe they make some mistakes that really cost someone serious trouble, right? Or to be rejected in terms of their application. So before we decided to do this, yes, I am an attorney, but I have not focused my career on the practice of immigration law. And Monica has, and that's why we brought her on board. So in addition to the 3 attorneys, we have 3 BIA accredited agents. So BIA stands for Board of Immigration Appeals. Actually, they're about to get their accreditation. You guys all passed, but they need to get some kind of special certificate. So BIA allows people who are non-lawyers, they have to take hundreds, or they have to take like several weeks of coursework and then take an examination based on the coursework. And once they get the accreditation, it's the same as, with that accreditation, they can practice immigration law, basically. Not as a lawyer, they can't pretend like they're a lawyer, but they, in many ways, have much of the same abilities to fill out immigration forms as an attorney. So it's a special accreditation, because we're still very small. We wanted to make sure the staff members that we were using to also help translate, that they were just as educated on immigration law as the attorneys are. Because we all know translation is not just that simple. You know, you have to really know what you're talking about and know the topic to be able to translate correctly. So Raymond is one of our BIA accredited agents. He's fluent in Spanish and can speak a little Tagalog, which is the Filipino language. James is our other BIA accredited agent. He is bilingual, fully in Korean. And then Nicole Phan, who's not here today, she is a BIA accredited agent and she can speak Vietnamese. She's bilingual in Vietnamese. Unfortunately, with the Chinese, we are currently just working with our Chinese foreign student interns who are amazing, and community help. We have not been able to find, maybe you guys can help us actually, to be able to find someone that we could, help them get their BIA accredited certificate. We're happy to pay for that, and then have them, work with us. It would probably be on a part-time basis, like when people call, or we could set them up to come 2 days a week, however way we do it. But since we have 4 Chinese press, you know any good bilingual people, because that's what Nicole does. So we will pay for their coursework to get their basically immigration accreditation, and then tell me if I'm missing anything. Oh, here it is. So that's our program in a nutshell, and I think, as I mentioned, one of the reasons why we started to do this too is when we started in 2010, when we first started, the number one thing people kept calling and asking us for was for immigration law help. But I was an unpaid volunteer myself. I knew it would be impossible. But always in the back of our organization's head, our goal was, one day, hopefully we will get big enough and be able to fund this on a regular basis so that we can start a full legal services program for our community. And hopefully one that, it's not like we're here one day and then we end another day. Although we definitely need to fundraise for this, I'll say that too. But when we first started, we did do a survey. We called every single nonprofit legal provider in Georgia. About 75% of them answered our survey, and we asked them questions like, what type of legal work do you do? What topics do you cover? Very few covered immigration, first of all. Then we asked, your lawyers, what languages do they speak? How many Asian clients do you serve? So out of all the nonprofit law groups that answered, 75% served 0 Asian clients. Or so few that they even kept track. There was no number, basically none. Then in all of the state of Georgia, there were only 2 attorneys in these nonprofit law groups that spoke an Asian language. One could speak in Chinese, one could speak in Korean. Neither of them practiced immigration, okay? There were 20 times more Spanish language lawyers. So the Latino community, and it's just a fact, there's much more help for the Latino Spanish-speaking community for free legal services or low-cost free legal services than on the Asian side. So when we saw that, we knew, wow, we have to build ourselves up to be able to do this at some point, because it's not that Asian people don't need help, but if you can't speak your language or you don't feel some trust, they're not going to go, right? So that's basically what we've known for 5 years, and it's taken a really long time. Honestly, I know one question we've been asked, because you see, for our citizenship, we say we charge $250, right? And for if someone were to come into the office, For most of the simple immigration work, like the fee might be about $250, but which is much lower than a private attorney. But the reason why we're charging is, to be 100% honest, we don't have a grant right now or a funder who is actually giving us money specifically to start this program. We are starting this program with just the general money we've been able to raise, because last year when the president announced the new DACA, we thought, oh my gosh, we really need to be ready to serve our community. And that's when I hired Monica and later Sarah very recently, and got Raymond and James to pay for their coursework. But, regardless, so I do want to say that, but the fee is sliding scale. So if anybody were to call us and say, I need immigration help, I do not have the money. $250 is, because we also know, like, for citizenship, for instance, there's still an application fee you have to pay to the government. We can't do anything about that. But if they need our help for free, we have a special form that they can fill out, and we will assess their financial need. So basically, we're not going to turn anyone that we want to serve away because of cost. We may be selective in who we choose, again, because we don't have, so if someone comes in and, I'll just, for example, they come in and it's really like they want business help. It has nothing really to do with what we're trying to serve. Our priority is those that can't afford for themselves family or immigration law, individual immigration law. We'll probably say no to that person, right? But if there's an undocumented young person who needs our help, their family cannot afford it, we would just do their service for free.
With the DACA stands for, what does DACA, DAC stand for?
Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Can you get some of the folders for DACA and DAPA? That was the special program announced in 2012 by President Obama.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
how some of the undocumented children could get a temporary work permit. And then at the end of last year, President Obama announced expanded
No more
DACA.
for Latinos, right?
No, it's for
For
Asians.
everybody.
But most of the recipients
No.
are beneficiaries.
No.
Tons of Asians.
It's for
I
all.
follow this story, that's why I'm so quick to
Yeah.
jump in.
Yeah, no. So this is the reality for deferred action for childhood arrivals. There were probably about 80,000 Asians in Georgia alone, most of whom were Korean and Chinese and Indian, those three. But if you look nationally, after the first DACA, 60 to 70% of Latino undocumented young people applied. For Asian kids, it was like 17%. So it's not that it's not for Asians, but Asian people don't apply. They don't take advantage of the benefits. And it is true, though, oftentimes when it's talked about in English press, it seems it's just about Latinos. And that's one reason why we're here. That's part of our education, that if we're honest, we all know someone who don't have papers, right? Or they were a student on a student visa and their student visa ended. Or they came on a tourist visa, their tourist visa ended. Or maybe they're a legal permanent resident and they still haven't become a citizen yet. Whatever the thing, but with DACA, there are a lot of Asians. And the sad story is that very few Asian young people actually applied.
The DACA still in fact, the Texas judge blocked it, right?
The Texas judge has blocked the new expanded DACA program. So the first DACA was in 2012. That gives you 2-year temporary work permit and an ability to get a Georgia driver's license. That is still open. The application is still available. People can still apply for that now. But the one that's blocked is the new program President Obama announced at the end of last year. So I refer to that as expanded DACA. He wanted to make DACA now 3 years and then make older people eligible for DACA. And then he created a program for undocumented parents. So if you're an undocumented parent but you have a child who is a citizen, then you would be able to get a temporary work permit for 3 years.
They can, right?
Those two things, those are the things that are blocked by the lawsuit right now. But it's not canceled, it's just working through the courts. Who knows what the end result is gonna be? But the original DACA is still completely open. And to be honest, we've had people come visit, and they come in for DACA or DAPA, but with Monica speaking with them, she's able to figure out, you know what, there is actually another visa there's another immigration program that you might be eligible for. So I'm not saying that's 100% guaranteed. Everybody who can't get DACA or DAPA, there's another program, but that's why it's important for people to speak with an attorney they trust. There are a lot of great attorneys out there. We're just trying to have another alternative. We know some people know our group and trust our group, you know, especially since we do nonprofit work. But we are experienced attorneys. We're just saying if people need our help, we are here. And, you know, there could be other options. Yeah, HB?
Can you, so I get that, I'm just trying to get a clearer idea of who the primary, I guess, target would be for your new legal services. So one is people who are trying to get citizenship, and the other would be people who are here illegally for the DACA or DAPA. And what other? So
Adjustment of status. Adjustment of status. So,
What is that?
adjustment of status is like, here's an example. I wish Monica was here because I'm not an immigration attorney. And a documented woman is married, and she is a victim of abuse, okay? So she wants to get away from her abuser. There's a special visa for that. So even though you're undocumented, because you're abused, you and your children can get a special visa of protection and then be able to stay here. That would be kind of another way to adjust your status. There are people that are undocumented that get married, right, to a citizen.